first thing first, I want to say thank you for doing this. This is great.
Yeah.
I think it's important to raise awareness of what you're doing, and hopefully we won't hear that in the back. There you go. See the real feature, man.
That's right. I told you. It'll be ringing the whole time.
That's good. All right. So the first episode, I wanted to make it about you.
Right.
Right, the guy behind the wheel, because you're running this thing, and a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to build it. First, go study for it, right? Spend some time, do the physicals. So take us through the beginning. Why, what made you decide when you were studying? What made you decide to go on this route? There's so many other things that you could have, like personal training, or what interested you about the bones?
Yeah. So pretty much for me, it started in high school. It started as a way to just get out of class, you know what I mean? And in your senior year, if you take some type of apprenticeship or something like this, then you can basically get out of class and you can go and work, right? In your last 2 periods of the day. So, I knew this chiropractor in town. I hit him up and was like, hey, can I come and, do my senior year, over there with you? And he was like, absolutely. So I did. And that's when I really started develop my love for the profession, because I would see this guy and here he was on his feet all day helping people through movement. I would see the patients, I would see the clients, and people would just be in there stretching, exercising, getting healthy with a smile on their face. There was good vibes, there was energy, and that's when I really was like, look, I don't see myself sitting behind a desk my whole life. I want to do things where I interact with people and I talk to people, and that's what really started to move me in that direction. So what happened was I got out of high school and I went over to University of Maryland and I studied kinesiology. And kinesiology is the study of movement. So that's where I really started to kind of see different movement patterns and this and that, and remembering where I came from the chiropractic side, they naturally merge together, and in the chiropractic profession, it's interesting because chiropractic is the kind of profession that you could call 10 chiropractors right now and they'll all treat and be a little different. You know what I mean? So it's a profession that has variability, for better, for worse. So combining the kinesiology sports background with the chiropractic naturally helped me develop the Optimal Performance brand, which really encompassed more than just an adjustment, right? It was the movement, it was the exercising, and it was the chiropractic side of things that kind of came together to form the brand that we have now.
So take us back to the high school. When you said you found this, let's just say you said mentor, right?
Yeah.
But why chiro? Why not? Why wasn't sales, or why wasn't it was something else totally?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it kind of all just fell into place, right? I was just really at that time looking for a place that I could just do my, senior year. What is it even called? I don't even know what it's called.
I know what you're talking about, where you have 7 and 8 period where you do some internship.
Internships, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it really just kind of fell in place. Had I been presented with a business internship, maybe that's where I would have been led, right? Maybe I would have gone down this path or finance or this. But this was the opportunity that was presented to me. You know what they say, man? Sometimes things happen for a reason, right? Sometimes you get led down certain paths, and that's why I always tell people, my younger brother, my friends, people who are just kind of getting started with their career, don't close any doors, right? Yeah. Try different things. You never know when that one door that you open is going to lead you down a path that you'll go down the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what happened after the college?
Yeah, so after I got out of college, I saw an opportunity with this product that I had been developing that was in demand. So I wasted no time. I went from University of Maryland literally a month or two after I got into chiropractic school, and that's why I'm now 30 years old, right? And I've been in practice 3 years. I graduated chiropractic school with a license of chiropractic at 27. You know what I mean? I wasted no time. I got all my licensing all my board certifications while I was still in school, so that the day that I graduated, I could hit the ground running.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned all the certification and the actual study and going to college for it. I think a lot of people take that lightly these days, right? They just go and don't understand fully that you actually went to a school, did the physical, and wrote papers and talked about it. Tell me a little bit more about that, because I don't think people comprehend the fact that how many years you spend just figuring out the anatomy, figuring out the bones.
Yeah.
It's not just, come in and crack and you're done.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so funny that you said that. So all in all, it was 7.5 years of schooling, right? So it's 4 years of undergrad at kinesiology, and it's another 3.5 years at chiropractic school. And touching on what you just mentioned, right? A lot of people think chiropractic school is 3.5 years of going in and adjusting people, cracking people, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The truth is that makes up like 15 or 20% of the entire curriculum, right? The majority of the curriculum is anatomy, the entire musculoskeletal system, neurology, craniology, like epidemiology, diseases, radiology, like the body top to bottom. We dissected cadavers from the brain all the way down to the feet. You know what I mean? Every part of the body, the digestive system, and how these practices go together. Truth is chiropractic is so much more than just adjusting people. Chiropractors are unique in the profession that we look at the body as a whole, right? We're not just looking at things from one side. Wellness and healing encompasses everything. It encompasses nutrition, hydration, workstation ergonomics, movement, what you put in your body, your micronutrients, your macronutrients, everything together. A lot of times, diseases, different processes of the body can present themselves as general musculoskeletal pain. And when you see a chiropractor, they need to distinguish, is this a chiropractic case, right? Or does this need to go to your primary care doctor? Does this need to go to an orthopedic? Does this need to go to a rheumatologist? Something like that. These different things together are what make chiropractors unique in the sense of, evaluating the person as a whole instead of looking at them from one angle, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about after the college. What happened after the college when you got into it? Were you maybe working for someone else or with somebody? How was that experience? How did you come? How did Optimal Performance happen?
Yeah, so Optimal Performance was a brand that I was basically developing while I was still in chiropractic college. The way that it works is similar to being an MD. When you're in your final year of chiropractic school, you essentially have a residency in the chiropractic clinic there in the area. And it's basically a student clinic that's free to the public. And the way that it works is, the instructors will give you clients, but they give you business cards, right? And you are encouraged to go out there and find these patients yourself. And I would go to CrossFit gyms, bodybuilding gyms, all different types of sports events. I would do health talks. I would go to lawyers and doctors. And, that's where I would really pass out my information and get people in the door and explain my spin of chiropractic, which, like I told you, included soft tissue, movement, and chiropractic all together. And that seemed unique, you know what I mean? And I started to really gain a lot of traction there in the student clinic. So coming out of school, I had my model, I had my general idea of how I wanted to run my practice. And look, just like with any product, the first year was a development year. The person I am now and the person I was day one are different. The way that the clinic looks now and the way it looked year one is different. That's what I always tell people. Enjoy the process. Let things develop. I didn't need to be 100% where I wanted to be on day one, but I knew I just needed to start. You know what I mean? And that development process has been the most, fulfilling for me, because now where I am looking back and how things have continued developing is what I feel like, is most fun, you know?
Talk about the struggle building the brand.
Yeah. Year one.
What was it that you remember, like even before year one?
Mm-hmm.
Go back, like when you were in your building phases.
Mm-hmm.
What was the process? What was the hardships?
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, the hardest thing was coming out of school. I really didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody to show me right from wrong. Day one, I got thrown right into things. You know what I mean? And for a lot of people, that can be scary. For me, I just kind of honed in on, again, the process and taking things a step at a time, building things brick by brick. And that's kind of what allowed me to keep moving forward. The other thing, was that I was relentless year one. You know what I mean? Anything that needed to be done, any hour, as much as I needed to push, I had the mentality coming into it that I was not going to be out hustled. I wasn't going to be outworked, and I was going to be the young guy coming into the area that was going to take over and introduce this new product. I believed in the product, right? And just to reiterate, you know, you go to a chiropractor right now, 9 out of 10 of them are going to crack you or adjust you and put you out.
And send you on
You know
your
what I
way.
mean?
I have
Or you're
firsthand
gonna go-
experienced that.
Right. Or you're going to go to a physical therapist and they're going to stretch you, right? But they're going to miss the joint component.
And they're
You know
going to
what I mean?
stretch you on your visits too.
Right.
And turn it more into as a product versus as a person, people,
Right.
human beings.
Exactly. Here, we combine both, right? So it's the adjustment side of things when appropriate, and it's the physical therapy component. We are here to empower people to learn how to take care of themselves. That's the most important thing for me. When people leave these doors, I want them to know exactly what they need to do on a regular basis to counteract either the heavy training or the sedentary lifestyle and to continue progressing naturally through movement.
And what is it that you're like? So, where are we now? Which year is this for you?
So the end of this year will be year 3.
Year 3.
Yeah.
And from year 1 to year 3, what has changed and how has the brand evolved?
Yeah, I think we really just fine-tuned things. The first thing I want to give credit to right now is the staff. You know what I mean? My staff is so amazing. They're so on point. I have a group of young individuals here that are motivated. And I don't care what business you run, if you don't have people that love to work here, that believe in the brand, that are repping the brand, and come to work motivated, you'll never really progress to where you want to be. You know what I mean? So the first thing that I have to say is, you know, when I first started out, it was just me, you know? But as you get bigger, I can't do everything. And people really started coming here for me. So my staff is an extension of me. You know, if they enjoy working with my staff, they're going to keep coming back. You know what I mean? So the team that I have now has been developed so everybody has their role. And now the business is really a well-oiled machine where you come in, you move around from these different parts of the office. And that really is where we're at now, just continuing to develop and grow as a team and squad. And hopefully, you know, in the next year, we'll begin, you know, expanding into the second location.
Absolutely. That's great, man.
I know, dude.
So let's talk about the patient, the product that you talked about. You were building a product in your school years.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, the product really comes down to 3 pillars, right? The first pillar is the soft tissue, right? So soft tissue includes cupping, Graston, dry needling, trigger point therapy, active release technique, right? So those soft tissue components work on the muscles, right? The second pillar is the physical therapy component. That's where we build you this customized exercise program that includes mobility drills, exercise drills. It gets emailed, it gets printed to you, and we give you different color exercise bands. That happens on session 1. I early established with my patients that when you come into this clinic, it's a 2-way street. Meaning, I'm going to do my part. Your part is all the rest of the time when you're not here, right? And that encompasses all the things that we talked about with an emphasis on doing your regular mobility routine. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then the third pillar is the chiropractic side of things. That's obviously the adjustments, the cracks, the things that people like. Combining all of these pillars is really what separates our clinic into being a one-stop shop, being more well-rounded, doing it differently and breaking the mold than it's been done for so long. You know what I mean? And that's the product that I want to continue pushing out. The goal here is to, one, get people better, two, empower people, right, into taking care of themselves, and then three, continuously spreading the word throughout the whole DMV. My goal in here is to not only get you better, but it's to educate you on how to stay better long term. What I do in this office is going to open the door for you, right? It's going to create an opening. To maintain where you're at, you're going to have to utilize the routine that I build for you, right? So after the first session, we create you this plan. There's no secrets. It's emailed to you. It's printed for you. There's different color exercise bands. We perform it in here to fine tune your skills. But the idea is to get you better and then to teach you how to stay better long term. That's really what we're in the business for.
With the current patients that you have, what have you seen from them when you implemented this?
Oh, the results have been incredible. You know what I mean? People are getting better quicker, right? Because we're combining all of these things, right? And then on top of that, people are learning how to take care of themselves. Because the truth is, everybody, I don't care who you are, at some point is going to have some type of ache and pain. Even once you're resolved, right? You're going to have some type of neck tightness at some point, back tightness, back ache at some point in your life. I don't care who you are. The routine is designed so that you know exactly what you need to do to take care of yourself. I can't tell you how many times patients come in here and say, Doc, I was feeling some aching over the weekend, but then I just did the routine that you and Andrea have built for me, and the pain immediately went away. Those are the things that make me happy, because now I know people know how to take care of themselves.
That's good. Now, talk a little bit more about you. Why is it, what would you love the most about with what you do?
Honestly, it really comes down to helping people naturally through movement. You have to understand, for me, coming from this heavy love and enthusiasm for sports, movement has just been always part of my life. Sports have always been part of my life. So to empower people and to educate people through movement, to heal people through natural movement, whether it's stretches, soft tissue, chiropractic, and the combination of all three, getting people better, allowing them to do functional things like play with their kids, go back to sport, participate in things at a high level, and get this real-time feedback is what makes me the most happy. When my athletes come back and say, oh, I PR'd on my lift. Oh, I ran the fastest. Oh, I ran for 150 yards this game. You know what I mean? After our session, I felt incredible. That makes me happy. When the mom comes to me and says, I can pick up my son now and my back doesn't hurt since I've been coming here, that makes me happy. When the construction worker who can now lift lumber and sit in the truck and all of this and says my lower back doesn't hurt anymore, that makes me happy. You know, so those are the things that drive me every day. You know what I mean? The community, the product that we've built here gets me up in the morning. I know I can speak for my staff that when we come in here, we just all love what we do.
Within the patients that you see, what is it that one thing that you wish you could change or wish that people would understand or do their homework, so to speak?
Sure.
Let's talk about misconception first.
Yeah, so as far as misconceptions go, I think the number one thing is that chiropractors either A, only crack your neck or your back and only work on the spine, which is not true in this clinic specifically. Being sports chiropractic eccentric means that we work on the body as a whole, whether that's extremities, wrists, shoulders, knees, ankles, things like that. I think the other thing that people assume is that when they come in here, it's going to be this 5-minute session and they're going to leave, right? When in reality, we are a hybrid clinic combining all different types of practices. Again, the soft tissue, the physical therapy, and the chiropractic side of things is what provides a more well-rounded level of care that you truly cannot get anywhere else. Again, I can't keep reiterating on it. You go to a traditional chiropractor, you're going to get adjusted, you're going to leave. You go to a traditional physical therapist, you're going to get stretch, you're going to get exercise, you're going to miss the joint component, right? These things go hand in hand. The muscles attached to the spine, right?
Mm-hmm.
The spine controls the muscles, right? These two things have a direct relationship. Going to a clinic like this that works on both at the same time in the same place is invaluable as far as your healing goes. So that's the number one thing. As far as the number one thing that I wish that my patients, more patients, there are some, but more patients would grasp is that recovery encompasses much more than what just goes on in this office. I commonly use the analogy that you wouldn't put regular gas in a Ferrari, right? Your body is a high performance vehicle. You want to feel better, you want to move better. On top of taking it to the shop, right? You also got to put the right fuel in your body. You have to sleep well, you have to hydrate, you have to eat well. You have to keep up with your mobility routine. How do you sit at work, right? What are your daily habits? Those are the things that encompass recovery, right? What we're doing in here is we're working on your symptoms and we're teaching you how to maintain the results that you get, right? But preventing injury, preventing pain from reoccurring encompasses everything we do in our life, not just what happens in here. You know what I mean? So I that's one thing that I wish more people would grasp onto, but people will always eventually come to terms and come to speed with it. A lot of times it just takes time. You know, these are concepts that other practitioners aren't preaching. So more people are slowly getting built onto the concept of, you know, wellness encompasses everything, not just treatment.
And that's one misconception that I feel like people need to get over with. You don't necessarily have to go when something's wrong.
For sure.
You should go regardless.
Yeah.
To prevent from something going wrong.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you say that because I always tell people chiropractic and wellness, physical therapy, getting stretched, getting worked on, this is a space that should be proactive, not reactive, right? Mm-hmm. It's always easier to prevent an injury than to recover from one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Periodically coming in and maintaining spinal wellness, maintaining proper movement through the body, getting your body looked at, worked on, recovering properly is something that everybody should incorporate into their daily lives, no matter who you are. You know what I mean?
I guess the one more misconception is people think it's a lot of money to be spending. People are afraid to invest on themselves, which I've never understand correctly. But they'll do it on other things.
Oh, for sure. But that's in everything.
You're right. It's easy. It's easy for me to spend $9, $10 a day on coffee. But you know, with certain other things, I'd be like, nah.
Let me tell you something. People got more money in Disney Plus, Netflix, and Hulu than they got in a gym membership. You know what I mean? The gym's too expensive. You know what I mean? The meal prep company is too expensive. You know, for 1 week worth of meal prep is one dinner out in DC. You know what I mean? So you have to weigh where your values are. You know what I mean? In the end of the day, though, this office, this profession, it can be affordable. It's, you know, we have affordable out-of-pocket costs. We also accept insurance, things like that. These type of treatments are covered through most major insurances. You know what I mean? And investing in your health early will save you money in the long run for when you haven't took care of yourself and the bigger things come up. You know what I mean?
What's the move for Dr. Balkin? Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, so right now, honestly, I'm just having fun with it. I'm developing myself. I'm continuously growing and challenging myself. And as far as that relates to the clinic, you know, I love when people come in here with, you know, multiple different injuries or, you know, different types of aches and pains. And our job is to figure out what that root cause is. What is this specific person's root issue that's causing this problem? Because if I just work on the symptoms, you're going to feel good for a little bit and it'll come back. My job that we do together between myself and the patient is really how can we identify the things that are triggering these issues while we work on the symptoms so we can not only take care of the issue now, but prevent it from reoccurring.
And how do you do that?
Through, again, identifying different parts of people's lives, whether it's how they sit at work, it's how they move, it's how they lift, it's how they eat, it's their daily habits. What can we identify that's causing the issue? Work through it together, resolve it through the treatments that we have here, and then on top of that, teach you how to take care of yourself through proper movement.
Okay. What's next? Now, I know you mentioned in the future maybe another location. So where do you see this brand going?
I see myself having multiple clinics throughout the DMV. Again, I want to continue empowering the community and teaching people and rewriting the narrative of the traditional chiropractor. You know what I mean? We have something unique here. We have something that can help all ages, all backgrounds, all types of injuries. There are people, they come here and they say, Doc, I don't want my neck cracked. You don't have to. I have people that say, I have back pain. I don't want my back cracked. You don't have to. At Optimal Performance and the clinics that we set up, we have so many different types of ways and treatments to get you to get you where you need to be, with working with what you're comfortable with and what your capabilities are. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.